We're now going to provide definitions about systems of inequalities. And a system of inequalities is any set of two or more inequalities. So we use our set brace just the same as we did before. And here we'd have, like, let's say x plus y is less than 3, and 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 5. And this will create our system of inequalities. Now, a solution is any point that makes every inequality true. And this means that our solution set to these gets to be very large. It includes a lot of numbers, or a lot of points, I should say. And we'll talk about how to do that. In fact, the way we want to show our answer is with a graph. So this is how we show our answer, because we don't want to bother listing all the points because there's too many. So a graph of a system looks like this. So we have our graph, and we might have one of these be, let's say, like this one, and the other one could be like this one. And imagine these are both straight lines. And then what we have is we have a shaded region that looks like this. And so this shaded region is where all of our answers can come from for a particular graph. And so it goes off and it extends, it keeps going this way and it keeps going down and it follows this line and it hugs this line. Now, remember the way this works. We've got this green line and this blue line, but notice it's only where they're both true that we get our answer. And so the boundary is the edge of the shaded region. And so if we look at, let me just redraw a similar one, but I'm going to make it a little bit different. If we look at something like this, the boundary, and let's say it shades specifically right through here, so it's all of this region right here. The boundary is this purple line. It comes down from here and it cuts over here. This is our boundary line. It's the boundary around the shaded region. And this point right here, the intersection point of these two lines, is a boundary point. So a boundary point is where any two plus lines intersect. That borders the shading. So if I had a third line that looked like, let's say that this third line looks like this, and our shading's still over here, these points are not boundary points because they don't border our shading. And so that's what we need to worry about, is just the points on the boundary. And notice that none of these are boundaries either because the shading's over here. Now the corner point and the vertex, these are just other ways of saying boundary point. Now when I refer to a test point, this one's just a little bit different. A test point is a point used to determine where to shade. And a big point here is that test point should never be on an inequality. It should never be a part of the line of the inequality. It should always be some region. So this would be a good test point. This would be a good test point. Here's a good test point. Here's a good test point. But these would be bad test points. Don't take that as a test point. Don't take that or that as test points. If they're on any of these lines, they make very bad test points. Only points off of our inequality line work. And those are the definitions that we're using in this section.